She's got a duck on.
Some of you thin ass tricks don't have enough ass to keep the pussy off the sheet.
But now we got that out the way. The next definition is GOAT. And I think...
Would GOAT and legend be the same thing? GOAT and legend is the same shit?
Nah, I actually got legend. I got a different definition for legend. You say use.
I gotta hear this because I was about to group those together, GOAT and legend. But if you think it's different, all right, let's talk about it then.
So the GOAT definition, I got a different definition for legend, but for GOAT, I think a GOAT is somebody that I regard as the best of the best. Now, people are calling like specific rap a GOAT, and then some will say, "Oh, this is the GOAT." Now, there's the GOAT, a GOAT, whatever your definition is. That person is one of the best of the best. Example. Eminem, Nas, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake. These are guys that are in their own, like in a specific top tier in the rap game, and they're all excelled in something that they did to make themselves so great that they have differed themselves from the greats of the game. They're the greatest of the game. So, If we're gonna combine the GOAT and the legend definition, I think a legend is somebody who is great. They're not necessarily a GOAT per se, but they're great. They've done something in the game to impact it in a way to where it's like
I see the differences now. I see the difference. Like yeah, okay, I hear you. So yeah, a legend could be somebody that's just like one of the greats, probably like top 30 or some shit. But a GOAT is like top 5. Like that you narrow it down much more. Like who's actually. When you think about the greatest, what's like the first few names you think about? Because somebody can still be a legend and one of the greatest, but just not like an overall GOAT. Like shit, because you like to use basketball analogies. I can give you an easy example. Brandon Roy for the Trailblazers. He will always be regarded as a Portland Trailblazer legend, like specifically for that team and for that city. But when you think about overall Hall of Fame, hell no, Brandon Roy not getting in there. He was amazing back when he was on the Trailblazers. Yeah. But when you think about if somebody was to say that Brandon like was eligible to be in the Hall of Fame, I would be like, all right, now, y'all kind of going too far.
Yeah. So that nigga did
mean.
great for the city. He did great for okay. When people say like, okay, I'm gonna say 2 controversial things. Okay. I'm gonna say 2 controversial things that people, if anyone's getting this far, you know what I'm saying, and hearing this shit, this is about to be really crazy. I think Lil Wayne is losing his footing as a GOAT. I think he's losing his footing. I think that back in the day, I used to think that Lil Wayne was 100% a certified fucking GOAT. But I've said before, you can lose your status. You can. I think the best example of this, a nigga that lost his status as a GOAT to me was fucking Snoop Dogg. The more that nigga kept on making music, the more it just, you know what I'm saying? Like, rapping is not like playing basketball. We all have voices. We all can think and write, you know what I'm saying? Write rhymes and shit like that. We all can get exponentially better at it. And some people get stagnant and some people get worse at it. Snoop Dogg has literally only declined in his career. Like, from Doggy Style and forward, the man is only either, you know what I'm saying, gone. He went up and up and up in the Nate Dogg days, doing his hooks and shit like that, and up and up and up. And then the Sensual Seduction days came out, and then it's like, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, you know, like, he's still making music, 2021, and this nigga's still making music. And it's like, bruh,
that nigga has 17 albums. Your average person can't even name 5 of them bitches. He has 17. You can ask any random person on the fucking street to name. He said, "Okay, name 5 of Snoop Dogg's 17 albums." The first thing out their mouth was, "He has 17 albums." I guarantee you.
And that's sad as shit, bro. That's the saddest shit ever.
I think with Snoop, it goes into the longevity thing about he is somebody that already has his GOATs and legend status solidified, that they don't care about like the latter half of his career. They don't care about that shit. Like if you try to say that to, especially to a big fucking Snoop Dogg fan, them niggas not gonna let you hear the end of it. But if you tell them niggas like, bro, like Snoop Dogg been dropping trash album year after year, and like y'all just don't even like care, They're gonna be like, yeah, because he already put in his work in like the 90s and the 2000s. We don't even care what music he making now. He already a legend. Would you say that's a fair argument, or how do you feel about people who say that shit? Like they don't care about the latter half of somebody's career because they already a GOAT.
Now, again, I don't think that you could keep your status as a GOAT. I think you can't keep your status as a great because Chance the Rapper is another good example of this too. He's another person that had the potential to be a great at acid rap. We all were looking at him as a prospective great in the game. And then he exponentially got worse. He drops the coloring book. And now he's just like, we don't know too much now. And now the big day is out. And you know what I'm saying? People have had their opinions about it. It's like, fuck no, you're not a legend. Like, you're not even close now. It's like he's gone from potential great in the game to, now you got to redeem yourself. You're solid. A guy like Logic has done the same way. But with Snoop Dogg, again, just because you started off as a GOAT, like, again, okay, 1993 was Snoop Dogg's year. Dropped Doggy Style. That was his fucking year. You know what I'm saying? More into the 90s, Dogfather comes out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The game is to be sold and shit like that. He has a solid catalog for the 90s, to be fair. And a lot of niggas couldn't name them fucking albums if you asked them to do it off the top of their head. And it'll save their mom's life. It's not happening.
All right.
Again, this motherfucker has a forgettable catalog by the general public. So why is it that just because he's a 90s rapper, he dropped a classic? Vanilla Ice dropped an anthem. So what? So should he be a fucking legend too? Because he came out the 90s and people are still singing that song? Ice, ice, baby. No, he's one of the most made fun of motherfuckers. Why is it not the same? Why is it not the same shit? Niggas literally chastised and fucking threw Eminem on a fucking cross for talking about or for doing Revival and said that was a shit album. And it hurts his reputation. It does. It hurts his reputation. Eminem can lose his footing as a GOAT. He redeemed himself with Kamikaze, and now he's just having fun in his career. I don't think that, you know what I'm saying, had everyone just be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because Revival's still a mid album. It's still a bad album, bad album, whatever.
Oh, that's what we get into next anyway, like mid, trash. Oh, that's some future definition. We about to have a whole glossary of terms here in these videos, yo.
Hell yeah, bro.
Now, my definition when it comes to being a legend, now this is definitely gonna be a good angle to look at it as. When it comes to somebody being a legend, I think it solely depends on, because when people say legend, they think about overall legend in like the entire hip hop game, mainstream, worldwide, like success kind of niggas. When I think about the word legend, I think just whoever was one of the biggest artists in a particular area, or like whether one of the best or one of the most popular. Now, I'm talking about a particular like time frame of years as well. So when I say era, like ERA, I'm talking about just time frame. Soulja Boy, perfect example. Soulja Boy is a legend, believe it or not, because of how impactful he was, because he pretty much started that wave of getting big on the internet. Soulja Boy is most definitely a legend. Now, here's the thing. When I say Soulja Boy is a legend, there's probably some niggas out there, they'll probably be like, what? Because like they think I'm capping. So when niggas hear the word, I tried to say that with a straight face, but also real shit though. When niggas hear somebody say Soulja Boy is a legend,
you can't even say you can't even say the definition, bro. Like,
no, I was talking about mocking you, and I was like, there's some niggas out there that'll be like, what? That was right after you said it. That's the part I tried to keep saying that with a straight face, but I started laughing. But here's my thing though: like, when a person hears somebody says Soulja Boy is a legend, they immediately think about the quality of Soulja's music, and that's not what I'm referring to. Soulja Boy is terrible. Every person in the world knows this. When I say Soulja is a legend, that's not even what I'm referring to. I think he's a legend because, first of all, he do got some bops. We're not about to act like every Soulja Boy song is trash. Like, he do got some hits. But the main thing when I say he's a legend, I'm referring to simply his impact on the game and how he was able, I guess you could say pioneer would be another word. The fact that he was able to start that wave of getting popular on the internet, and now that's literally what everyone does. So when I say he's a legend, I look at the 2007 era of rap and look at it now. I'm like, who's one of the biggest contributors on how rap ended up this way? And Soulja Boy is one of those people, believe it or not. So that's another way you have to look at it. I don't solely look at a legend as the quality of somebody's music. Because when I say Soulja Boy is a legend, the last thing I'm talking about is the quality of his music. That nigga trash. You see what I mean?
I do. But with that, I still think a nigga like X and Juice and all these other rappers that died aren't legends.
For me, it got to be the longevity of their game, because people for music that X and Juice was making, that shit still has only been popular for about 3 or 4 years now. Well, I'll say 5 or 6. That shit has only been popular for about 5 or 6 years now. We don't know if that type of music will last. But then, like the rest of this decade, like when it can reach the middle of this decade, 2025, niggas probably not even gonna be making melodic, dark emo rap anymore. That style probably gonna be died out by then. Who knows? So the reason why people call them legends is because we still in that era of music where niggas is making the style that they created. Soulja Boy legacy done lasted for he's been doing this shit since 07. Like the way he got popular and the impact he made is still long lasting, like 13 years later. For niggas like Juice and X is too soon.
Man, people call them legends because they're sheep. And that's my interpretation of it. Motherfuckers see one person saying it, and then everybody, and then it's like a fan base thing. If you like them, if you like the guy, the best way of honoring that person is being like, oh my God, they were a legend. They impacted the game. You know, like if you have a specific bias, of course you're going to say that. Mac Miller didn't have to be one of my favorite rappers to say that he's a legend. I look at his discography versus the rest of the people who are also deceased. Mac Miller's got 10 plus years in the game, and he hasn't dropped a lot of bad fucking albums. He hasn't really, and I say a lot of bad albums, like he has like more than 2 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't drop a lot of bad music, and the general public feels the same way in a sense. You know what I'm saying? X has what? Fucking two big albums, right? The rest of the shit after his death literally is either mid or it's good. It's not nothing great. Nothing great has come after his death. So why would I call him a legend? Even if I'm counting shit after his death, Juice WRLD is another example where both his albums before his death were good. They were good albums. They were really good albums. They were heavily positively received. So yes, they can get their name tossed in the, oh, they're going to be great hat. But just because they died and they were going to be great, death doesn't make them legends. Death makes them prospective legends. It makes them a what-if story. You don't get a little fucking pass just because, oh, you know what I'm saying, some tragedy happened. Like, that's not fair to the rest of the game, because motherfuckers got to do double the work to get, you know what I'm saying, to get a little bit of that. Fred the Godson's not getting called a fucking legend, I realize, and that nigga was in the game for longer than both them motherfuckers. And he died of COVID-19 last year. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one's, you know what I'm saying? No one, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, and when I've said Fred the Godson's name, most of y'all niggas gonna be like, what? That guy that was on the 2011 XXL class, that guy, him, the guy with the big head.
Oh, okay, I know who you're talking about now. That's the first thing they're gonna say.
Exactly.
But let me tell you this though. Now, this is another thing that goes into my definition of a legend. Because I also think about it from a regional standpoint when it comes to a particular area. And this is why I says people look at it as mainstream worldwide and shit, but that's not all that encompasses a legend. When it comes to Detroit rap, bro, Peasy and Peasy and Payroll Giovanni are easy examples. Now, first of all, if you live in Detroit and you don't know who Payroll Giovanni is, that's a fucking problem, because that nigga's like easily one of the best Detroit rappers of all time. Probably the number one, depending on who you ask. But here's the thing with that. You ask a random ass white boy named Tanner that lives in like Montana or some shit, he's never heard of Payroll Giovanni in his fucking life. Does that mean that Payroll is not a legend because he's not mainstream?
That's it. Yeah, no, I've you know, when people in Florida say some shit like X is a legend, I'll be like, yeah, okay, because yeah, he was from there. And y'all do claim him. Yeah, okay, cool. I could say somebody like T Grizzly is a Detroit legend because that motherfucker made it out the mud from here. And we're proud of that nigga. So it's like, okay, we could give bias to him and say he's a local legend. Motherfuckers could be local legends. Me and you could be local YouTube legends. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers could love us here. For real though, that's how that works. You know what I'm saying? Niggas can love us here. We could be local legends. It's easier to become a local legend than it is to be a worldwide renowned legend of the game. Being a legend of the game is hard as fuck to do. The whole world's gotta love your shit, or the whole world's gotta hate your shit. And X was not fucking universally loved. That nigga was loved in the United States. You know what I'm saying? That nigga is more hated around the fucking world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't work like that. Just because y'all like the nigga, you know what I'm saying? A couple of fucking little fucking virgin teenagers talking about, oh, he helped me not. I'm not gonna say that. He helped me through my depression. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was about to say something real dark, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he helped me not kill myself or some shit like that. Some shit like that, bro. It's like, okay, yes, X was a very positive light on some occasions. He also was a bad person on sometimes. We're not gonna sit here and act like X didn't beat the fuck out of a gay nigga in prison. We're not gonna sit here and act like X didn't do crazy shit in his life. Motherfuckers want to hide the bad shit and be like, he started handing out money before he died. Like, okay, that's great. And pedophiles hand out candy before they rape kids. So what the fuck did that? You know, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
Like they completely ignore everything else that X did in his life. They bring up the one good shit some good shit he was doing before he died. Like he was turning himself into a positive person. Right, bro. Like, yes, you could turn yourself into a positive person. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but don't sit here and act like, oh, just because this nigga hand out $5 to a fucking kid on the block means that nigga just turned his fucking life around. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm an X fan, but I'm not an X dick sucker. I'm not gonna. Let's be fucking real here, okay? So yes. Them niggas are not legends. Them niggas, if you wanna say that he's a local legend, 100% agree with you. Go ahead. Now that's part of my definition for sure. I think that there's definitely a such thing as local legends to the point where I feel like, considering that we aren't from, like, not everybody can be from same fucking area. Like, you only born and raised in like one or two places, like depending on like, you know, how your childhood was split up and shit. But when it comes to just your area and like just where you stayed growing up and what rappers were popular in that area, you can't tell somebody else that a rapper that they know isn't a legend just because you never heard about them. And that goes into the payroll shit. Somebody can easily try to tell me that payroll is not a legend because they never heard of them. I'm like, okay, that's because you're looking at it from a worldwide standpoint. Like, go to Detroit, Michigan, and say that payroll is not a legend. You probably get your ass beat for that. Like, that nigga 100% is. Yeah. Like, just because you don't fucking know him don't mean somebody isn't a legend. And the reason I brought this up was because I was thinking about the Snoop Dogg shit. Because Snoop Dogg has like the entire West Coast on his side too. Nigga, I've never set foot on the West Coast. Like Cali, Arizona, nigga, Oregon. I've never been over there in my life. So it's easy for me to say that Snoop not a GOAT or not a legend like anymore because it's trash music. But his music is so ingrained in like West Coast like culture that if you say that to a West Coast nigga, they're gonna be like, little nigga, you don't know what you're talking about. Like you know, you don't understand West Coast culture and how much his music means to us because you're not from here. So something like that, I feel like that would be a legit argument.
Yeah, yeah, you sleep, nigga. You know how he took over the game in 1993. Like, nigga, I wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't even a twinkle in my mom's eye at that time. So it's like, bro, you know, that's crazy as shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
When it comes to the local shit, that's the easy thing they can bring up and be like, well, like, it's easy for you to say somebody's not a legend because you're not from this area, but nigga here, like we love that nigga music we always have. He's definitely a legend over here.
Exactly.